Back in the early 1990s, Sony and Nintendo were partnered, working on a CD-based add-on for Nintendo consoles. Then, Nintendo suddenly canceled the deal and partnered with someone else, leaving Sony with the technology but no product to release. Instead of walking away, Sony decided to turn that failed project into its own console, and that decision created the PlayStation. This is the evolution of the PlayStation, from PS1 to PS5. The PS1 was Sony's first attempt, and it immediately stood out. It was introduced in 1994 using CDs instead of cartridges, which meant bigger and cheaper games, and it helped push 3D gaming into the mainstream. Games like Resident Evil, Final Fantasy VII, and Metal Gear Solid defined this era. But early 3D graphics didn't age well. The original controller lacked analog sticks, and many games feel outdated today. Then, in 2000, came the PS2, which took things further and became a global hit. It doubled as a DVD player, which made it more valuable than just a gaming console, and it ended up becoming the best-selling console ever. Games like GTA San Andreas, God of War, and Shadow of the Colossus made it legendary. However, the graphical improvement over the PS1 wasn't as dramatic as many expected, and the hardware started showing limits later on. But in 2006, Sony made a huge mistake. Before we continue, comment below the first PlayStation you started gaming with and what your favorite game was. We would love to hear it. Now, back to the video. When Sony launched the PS3, they used very powerful hardware and introduced Blu-ray, but it was expensive and difficult for developers to work with. Because of that, it struggled early and lost ground to competitors. Still, games like The Last of Us, Uncharted 2, and God of War 3 showed its true power later on. The backlash was clear: high price, confusing architecture, and a slow start that hurt Sony badly. The PS4 was Sony fixing those mistakes. Released in 2013, it was easier to develop for, focused more on games and performance, and delivered strong exclusives that brought players back. Games like Spider-Man, God of War, and Horizon Zero Dawn defined this generation. It was successful, but not perfect. It wasn't a huge technological leap, and loud fan noise became a common complaint. And finally, in 2020, PS5 released, focusing on speed and immersion. Its SSD reduced loading times dramatically, and the new controller added more realistic feedback during gameplay. Games like Spider-Man 2, Demon's Souls Remake, and Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart showed what it can do. But it launched at a high price with a large design, limited true next-generation games at first, and stock shortages frustrated buyers. Then in 2024, Sony announced the PS5 Pro, focusing more on performance improvements, like better graphics and higher frame rates rather than a completely new generation. Some people see it as unnecessary, with the main backlash being high pricing and not enough difference for casual players. And now the next question is, when is the PS6 coming out? Unlike phones or PCs, consoles take years between releases because developers need stable hardware, and each generation is designed to be a major upgrade, not a small yearly improvement, which is why PlayStation doesn't evolve every year. For early updates about that and videos like this, make sure to follow. If you loved the video, support us by clicking the like button.